Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to go over the previous quiz. I have put up another quiz for what we covered today, where we're basically going to go through a little bit more about objects and how you can basically compose objects inside of objects and what that looks like and why we do it. So hopefully today will be a lot about syntax and how to get Java typed in correctly. But we're also going to go over your project selection today and more about your requirements document so we can make sure we get that started off on the right foot.
I forgot to be there.
Yeah, I believe it. We'll go through it. Don't worry, Tyler. All right, let's go over the quiz. Refresher, which of the following portions of memory does your program reside? Hey, I don't give you the list. Where does your program reside? Static. Static, all right. Where does a program allocate dynamic memory for you when you use the new command? The what? Heap, awesome. And which type of memory is used to allocate the memory usage of a function call? Stack, there we go. All right. Make sure those are in your mind, especially for a midterm and a final. You will see questions about that. All right. What is contained in a pointer?
Memory location to routing.
Right. In Java, a pointer or a reference is the memory location of an object. Technically, a pointer just stores the memory location of something else.
It's not the actual.
It's not the actual thing. It's not the actual object. It's pointing to an object. That's important to keep in mind. And address, where another value is stored, so refers directly or points to another value stored elsewhere in memory. All right. We've used Git. We probably have talked about Git. Y'all come and complain about Git. Which is good, that's how this goes. I know it's painful at first, but in the long run, it's a very good thing. Everyone uses a repository system out there. That's just the way life is. But why do so many software engineers and basically any software project that is worth anything or meaningful at all, why do they use some type of version control system like Git?
Easy access.
Easy access? Okay, like with GitHub, you can quickly get
Easy to share your program files.
So it's easy to share all your program files? Okay. Okay.
Go back if you mess something up.
Yeah, so you have this history. You can revert to previous editions. True. Anything else Git might help you with? So Git also flags which programmer did which. So you can track down, and at least talk to say, hey, why did you do this? Because they probably have a good reason for it. But it's good to know, helps you track down who did what, so you can figure out where to go and what's going on. Let's see what list I came up with. Revert mistakes, back up your code, maintain multiple versions of your code. So we haven't gone into this, but with Git, you can actually fork it with a branch, and then someone may work on one version of your code, another person may work on another version as well. So you can have multiple versions of the same project inside of Git. And Git actually allows you to switch between those versions very quickly. Review the history, efficiently submit changes to someone else's code, facilitate code sharing, good sharing, run a report how much work is being done, where and when and by whom. Keep that in mind. You're using Git, so with your project, you're going to use Git. Morning. And that means that when you're done at the end, I will be able to run a report to see who did what work, who submitted what, when, and also was that work actually in the final product? Because I can actually run a statistic to see if someone removed it because it wasn't working. So make sure you use Git, and if you commit something, you commit that file. That way I have track of what you did. Let's see, experiment with the new feature without interfering with the working code. Yeah, so you take the code, you make a branch, maybe you want to see if you can add, I don't know, a nice help menu or something. You do that for a while, and then you say, hey, look, I got it up and running. Do you want to integrate it? And then they say, sure, and then they can pull it into the main without affecting the main branch at all. That way they can just pull it in once it's up and running. Or maybe you work on the new help feature and it's absolutely terrible, so you just delete it. No harm, no foul. So Git really does help you. Actually, a repository or version control system helps you. And there are many other reasons for this. I can never remember them all. So yes, I know it's painful at first. If you have problems, please just come see me.
At first?
Yeah, it's painful at first. Oh, it gets real easy afterwards. Once you understand it, it's a breeze. It's second nature. You just, okay, let's just make a branch real quick, code it up. Okay, looks like it worked. Here, let's go ahead and merge it in. All right, we're good to go. It makes things really easy once you get the hang of what's going on. But at first, it's kind of annoying. Any other questions about the quiz? No questions? All right. Let's just jump right over to your project selection. Okay, yeah, let's go over the project proposal. That sounds great. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. So, oh man, excuse me again. Let's see. The requirements document lays out what your program will accomplish. The point of this is you're going to tell me what your program's doing. If it's checkers, aka it's checkers, here's the board, here's how people interact with the board, how we do certain things. So I want you to give me a good paragraph of what your project does, a description of each command or action the user may do. If you're doing checkers, they may start a new game. Maybe they can move a checker. Then your board will figure out if that was legal and if that has any effects on what has happened. Do create some mock screenshots of what you expect the program to look like. And I'm not looking for anything fancy. You can literally have black boxes on a white background with arrows and text. That's perfect. What?
That sounds like something I'll do.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's actually kind of what you want at first because it makes it very clear. And then later you can colorize it. I know probably the graphics design artist just cringed. Sorry. But in computer science, we're all about the black box. Or the white box on the black background. Either way. Just, white and black, no color. That'd be that's too much. But do create some type of mock screenshot or mock of what's going on. I do want you to use UML use cases. So we'll go into a little bit more about that today, if not the next class, about what that actually is. And then ensure your documentation does have the following. First, project abstract, aka summary of what your project is. This is checkers, it's a 2-player game, blah, 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 blah. Team members, very important. List your team members. The requirements document is what's going to solidify the team member list. I'm going to give you an initial list. That's just an initial list. Your teams may change all you want. Don't come running to me asking me to change teams. Just do it. I don't care. Seriously, don't care. Just do it. But when you submit your requirements doc, I need to have team members. Minimum of 3, max of 7. The location, make sure you tell me of your repository. You're going to have to email me or add me manually. But make sure you list that there so I know exactly which repository this is for. Description of your program does in some detail. So the abstract is, hey, it's checkers, it's 2-player trying to compete against one another, remove all the opponent's pieces on an 8x8 grid or whatever the size is. And then some more detail, so one person chooses red, one person chooses black, they can move via, with the mouse, et cetera, et cetera. A little more detail of what's going on. 5, make sure you describe your UI or the GUI, aka use some mock screenshots of what you think it should look like. Description of division of labor. So this is high level. How do you think you're going to divide it out? Is one person going to write the menu, the start menu? Someone else is going to design the checkerboard. Another person will design what a checker is and maybe design how it actually interacts. Welcome. And maybe a third person could help with testing, et cetera, et cetera. Make sure you give me a high level of the division of labor. Don't have to go into the details too much yet. And then 7, make sure you have your UML use cases, and we'll get to that soon. Okay. So communication, it's a team project, so you need to start communicating as soon as possible. You will have problems communicating. Make sure you document what you did to try and communicate and how you got everything together. How did you communicate to everyone? How you communicate will be graded, so make sure you list that probably in your requirements doc. What's very important is someone in your group will need to establish the GitHub repository as soon as possible. Someone in the group, just make a repository. Make sure you add me to it. My name is Professor Dash West, or actually no, it's just Professor West, no dash, just Professor West. And then also add the rest of the team of your teammates to the repository. If you're not able to add certain teammates, you don't know their GitHub name, or you're not able to get in contact with them, make sure you email me and I'll try and help you out. And note your communication will be rated. All team members must be given ample opportunity to contribute to the project. Yes, I know that's somewhat vague, but make sure everyone has a chance to submit or do something. Lastly, make sure you commit and push the work you did. Don't have someone else commit and push. I'm using Git to figure out what it is exactly you did and then grade from there. So if you committed some piece of code, make sure if you contributed some piece of code, make sure you committed it with your username. Don't commit other people's work. So size, at least 3 members, no more than 7. Group membership doesn't go through the professor or me. It's described in the requirements doc when it's due. Turn in via GitHub, just like normal. And this one's due on February 28th. I believe that's 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. So I'm giving you a good time to select your teammates and come up with this doc, this doc round.
You said that this thing, right?
Yeah, that's the due date for the requirements doc, not the whole project, just this documentation. After the documentation, we'll do design, and then after design, you actually have your code and your presentation. But just for the requirements, that's due February 28th. Any questions about that before I show you the initial list of teams?
Drum roll.
Drum roll? All right. So, all right.
Oh, I already don't like it.
Thanks, Tyler. So everyone who emailed me, I was able to get you on your top 3. Most people was top 1. There was quite a distribution of what project wanted. I had a lot of teams that were just wanted to be just one person. You look.
Yeah, my middle name is on there instead of my first name.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry if I put your middle name there. The portal, when they gave me the list, it listed them very strangely. Sometimes you put middle name and first name mixed up. So if I did that, sorry.
It's okay.
Why do you have two on there for checkers? We can Pac-Man, checkers, and checkers.
All right, so there's Pac-Man and then there's checkers. That's a great question. That's Pac-Man. Let me fix that real quick.
Maybe do number 2. I read the on date as the 26th and not the on 25th.
Whoops, that's the wrong one. All right, what do we have? Checkers. All right. Okay, so if you want to change, go ahead and speak up now. Otherwise, just figure it out later. So we have text-based, blackjack, chess, checkers, fitness/nutrition calculator, and Pac-Man. The idea is that you want to have one online student per project. I know that there may be some changes, so I will allow 2 on each project, but no more than 2 online per each project. That way, at least, we'll have a good distribution. If your name is in italics, that means I just assigned it wherever. I didn't get an email from you, so, or I'm sorry if I missed your email, but I didn't see an email from you, so I just put it up there, however. All right. Anyone want to voice a concern?
So how do we get in contact with the online person?
So let's see. That's
You can go through Blackboard through the class list.
yeah. Go and email them. You should have access to. You should be able to email them through Blackboard. Yes.
My name isn't even up there.
Your name's not up there. Where do you want to be?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Blackjack.
All right. That's kind of funny.
Well, we are a Christian school here. That is gambling, and gambling is bad.
Actually,
okay?
Blackjack can play without gambling.
You can play without gambling.
But what's the point?
Oh my goodness. Now who's the what?
Yeah. I think you can go.
I used to play in middle school, but we bet candy for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there was a lot of candy.
me out.
So are we supposed to just change groups to whatever we want? Or?
Basically, but if you want to speak up now so I can update this list.
Sure, I'm gonna go to Jess.
All right, and where do I have you right now, Alex?
Number 4. My name, it's not
Oh,
it's not Alexander, but
It's close, right?
close enough.
I added an A. That was artistic something or another.
I've never spelled my name like that. I might do that in the future.
I think you should.
Oh yeah, Professor, I want to go to number 1.
You want to be number 1?
Where did you say we could find a class list on Blackboard?
Yeah. So you wanted to go to which one? Chess? Is that right?
Yeah, Jess, which is number 3.
All right.
Oh,
And then Tyler, you wanted to go to what?
number 1.
Number 1. Okay. Yes.
I go to Checkers.
Checkers. What's your name? Sorry.
Noah.
Noah. Okay. I think you know it. Where do I have you right now?
You got it
Okay.
for the class list?
No,
You
how?
go to tools, and then you scroll down,
Which one did you say? Chess or checkers, Noah?
roster,
Checkers.
Checkers. Okay.
or send email. And then you just go to select users, and find the name and move it over.
Okay.
Yeah, you be my group. Fitness, nutrition.
Notice that I said 3 to 7. You probably will not be able to add another group, but if one group disperses into others, that's probably going to be okay. You might even be able to disperse 2 groups. So it's probably the highest number of groups that there will be.
But the bad thing is when you have like more people in a group just trying to communicate to everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe. It depends.
And then-
Depends on your group,
You
Tyler.
still got it. Dictatorships about it.
Dictatorships.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alright. Okay. Any other questions? Or anyone else?
Yeah.
All right, great. You'll work in the group. You have an opportunity to explain your contributions. Y'all are in charge of group membership. Don't come running to me. And the last thing that's hard for y'all to see is groups must be between 3 and 7 inclusively.
And where do we find that information? It's on GitHub?
It should be on GitHub, yes.
Wait,
The class repository.
why is it gotta be inclusive?
That means it can be 3 and it can be 7. So if it was exclusively, it'd be 4, 5, 6. But inclusively, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I just imagine most people just thought.
All right, timeline, requirements, roughly about 3 weeks, so February 28th. Design's going to be 2 weeks. So you're not going to have too much time to do the design. Actually, wait, you'll probably have 1 week, since I think there's spring break. So it's really just 1 week. But we'll get that, go ahead and knock that out. And then implementation, coding, and testing, you'll have a full 6 weeks to do the coding, to test it, submit it on April 25th, and then your presentation's also on April 25th, which, by the way, is the last day of class. Any questions on the timeline? Not a one? All right.
I trust your judgment.
You trust my judgment. Ooh, that could be dangerous. All right, make sure you're reading for this weekend. Read chapter 5. The chapters in this book are actually pretty short, so go ahead and knock that one out. We're actually going to cover a couple of the topics in chapter 5 today. But any questions about what I've looked at so far? Nope. All right.